As I'm celebrating my 11th year being single, I want to talk a little bit about why I haven't found anyone to date, because I would love to find a man to date. There is a shortage of men living with intention and purpose and confidence who are happy with their lives. And I'm very attracted to men who are passionate about their lives, confident, and sensual. Now, my ex-husband was all of that, but he was missing in the sensuality department. But other than that, he was great. Um, and it's really hard. Of course, he's remarried, as these guys usually are. But I need somebody who is emotionally attuned and who cares about my sexual pleasure and who cares how I feel. But I mean, I'm very selective about who I want to add into my life. For one thing, I don't want anything in my home that's work. That's why I don't have dogs or cats. I'm only interested in things that make my life beautiful, happy, and joyous. Now, I do understand that sometimes people have problems and they have needs, but you have to enter my life from a place of giving, because I enter people's lives from a place of giving. So people they can't bring me down. So that eliminates people who are victims, angry, volatile, controlling, judgmental, angry. And you can just look through the comments on my videos to get a feel of how people show up. That's who they really are. When nobody's watching, that's who they really are. And there are a lot of really nasty people out there. A man can be a liability. I kind of think of him more like energetically, he's big. He's not like having a puppy. Before you say I'm cold, I've had a lifetime of dogs that I've trained, rattlesnake clinic, obedience classes, parenting classes, kids, cats. I've had so many cats. And at this time in my life, when I was in my 50s and got divorced, I just wanted to be free. I want my life to be about pleasure and enjoyment, and it certainly can be. And I know there are people who enjoy their dogs. That's why they have them. I don't. I enjoy children, and I enjoy men and cocks. So that's where I'm at. And so a man is this big energy field in my life. Okay, you have to think of them in a physical way. Like there's muscle, there's space, and this big muscle thing, you can kind of liken it to like having a huge 60-pound or 80-pound dog in your home. Think of it that way. And or a little horse or something, something huge, or a cow. These are all beautiful little animals, but they're big and they can cause a lot of havoc with the littlest thing. So you can have this big man in your home and he can start complaining about, the air conditioning is too hot or too cold, or, give you the sour look because he didn't like the way the dinner was made, or, be like very neglectful in bed, or having a disagreement with me about how I spend my money. I'm like, I don't want that, and that's not okay. So I need someone who is easygoing, on his purpose, and enjoying his life. And these people are hard to find. People like me are hard to find, who are like, I'm just enjoying my life. You want to come along for the ride? The other day I was out in Encinitas. It was like a year ago actually, and I was driving back from the beach, and I saw this young man running, and he had a happy look on his face, and I still remember him because he was strong, he was fit and strong, and he was happy. And that's what I look for in guys. I want someone who's strong and fit and happy. And I know that life is hard these days, and so these people are hard to find because a lot of people are weighed down by their economic prospects, their baggage, and whatever. But little things that are turnoffs, little things like, some guy not able to keep his word, being afraid to take a leadership role, asking me, well, what do you want to do? Or what do you like in bed? Like just being, okay, this is how you bring me down. You try to control me. You try to judge me. You try to shame my sexuality. You're requiring me to give you approval because you don't approve of yourself. You're a people pleaser, and now you're emotional effort because you're looking to me to make you feel good. Okay, when you look to me to make you feel good because I have to approve of you, I have to diminish my sexuality to be with you because you're threatened by me. Those are turnoffs. And a lot of people, and I've done this before too, we want someone young and hot so that we can get approval from the external world because we haven't approved of ourselves. The most important thing in a relationship really is, how are you treating me and how do I feel around you? And that requires someone to obviously take care of their health and their fitness, for sure. For sure you have to take care of your health and your fitness. But it doesn't mean you have to be 6 foot tall and have six-pack abs. In fact, that's kind of a turnoff. My ideal height is like 5'9", 5'10". Once you get over 5'11", I'm only 5'2.5". Once it gets over 5'11", I gotta like do this to kiss you, and I get like a neck cramp. That's too tall. And I don't like guys that have like a Dorito chip body that are like overly muscle. I like a guy who can do animal flow movement, where you're in control of your body. These guys that are over muscled are insecure. They're insecure because they're short. It's the short guys who do that because they're insecure and they think it'll give them more stature, but it doesn't. Just makes you look stupid. Okay, now I am going to quote here from a part of my interview with Dr. Glover, and I'll pin the video up here. I have to remember to do this at 6:44. Okay. What he teaches men and where he got to in his life, and I absolutely love this. And men like this are hard to find. So this is what he says. And this is what would be the ideal guy. A guy who lives a good life, who lives a life of purpose, and who's confident. A life of purpose and confidence. That means you're not just texting women, hey baby, or hey what's up, or hey beautiful. That is like such a turnoff. Sending women likes on dating apps is such a turnoff. There's no purpose in that at all. You're just like scattering your energy mindlessly. You know, at least when you're masturbating, you have a purpose and you're going to ejaculate. But when you're just texting women, hey, available, you're scattering your energy mindlessly, and it's bringing you down. It's lowering your value as a man when you are so walking around with such a lack of intention. A lot of guys are doing that. They have a phone, you know, they can text a woman off an ad and be like, hey, are you available? Hey, beautiful. I'm like, the ad says you should give your name and your age and when you want to see me. This was from when I was an escort, but they're still doing it now. I have women and friends in the industry. Such a lack of intention. Or on a dating app, just swiping on everyone, sending likes. Like, that lowers your value. Every time you act in that way, guys, it lowers your value. What did I do today? I got up at 5:45. I went to a Versa Climber class that started at 6:45. Then I went to the beach. I took a blanket. I did a bunch of stretching and balancing exercises at the ocean. I went to get a coffee and a breakfast. I came for a walk in this beautiful foresty area near the beach. And then I'm going to go home and take a hot bath. And it's not even 10 o'clock yet. I'm just happy being outside. You know? That's all purpose and intention. And I'm also spending less time on Twitter. Spending less time on that. And I'm not reading the comments anymore because I want to raise my energy too and my vibration. So what is a good man? This is a longer video. So Dr. Glover says, everything starts with the guy. It starts with the guy. So if you're a guy with confidence and purpose, living a good, capable life, if you're comfortable in your own skin, you know where you're going, and you're having a good time getting there, then you can invite a high quality woman into your life and they will want to come and join you in your life if you're that kind of man. Again, you're confident, you have a purpose, you're comfortable in your own skin, so you're not looking for a woman to fix you or mommy you or give you all the things mommy didn't or try to own her sexuality or sexual history or tell her what to do, because you're confident in your own skin and you're not relying on her to make you feel loved, because you already have a good life. That's important. And then you can invite a woman to be the icing on top. So this is what he was telling women when he was dating in his 40s and 50s. He's married now. And this is what he told women. He goes, if we keep dating, guys, listen up. If we keep, and ladies, listen up, because this is all a guy should ask of you when guys are like, what do you bring to the table? Like, why would I even want to talk to you if you talk that way? Okay. This is what he would tell women. If we keep dating, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, but the video is also in the description, so you can watch it. It's just a couple of minutes of the interview that I clipped. You can expect him to be conscious. You can expect, ladies, you can expect the man to be conscious, to pay attention to you, to pay attention to himself, and to pay attention to the relationship. You can expect him to set the tone and take the lead in the relationship. And he will never say, well, what do you want to do? He's going to set the tone. He will be transparent. He will let you know how he feels and what he wants. And he will be truthful and never lie. That's it. And then the women would look at him and be like, And the high quality woman would say, well, that sounds really good. Well, what do you expect of me? And he would say, treat me well and make my world beautiful. And they would be like, I'm in. Because that's very inviting to a woman, to have a man say, treat me well and make my world beautiful. I'm inspired by that. And that's what we as women really want to do. We want to treat you well and make your world beautiful, but you have to be a man that we want to give that to. So you have to have a purpose. You have to have a mission. You can't look to us to give you all the things your mommy didn't, or try to control us. And what Dr. Glover always tells his wife is, you're mine and you're free. Because he says women want to be claimed, but they don't want to be owned or controlled. And she's never going to leave him. Why would she? Totally agree with that. And I think he has a lot of good things to teach men and women as well, because I think it's good for us to know what can we expect from a high quality man. And again, he also talks about, how a lot of guys would get sidetracked because they'd find this woman who was super hot. His second wife was super hot. He was married to her for many years, but she didn't treat him well. And a lot of guys who are insecure, they want the hot young woman so that they can get attention and validation from the outside world. And they don't pay attention to how this woman is treating them, how she's treating him, are her finances in order? What's her relationship like with her family, with her kids? Is she happy in her life? Is she just dumping on you? Is she making your world beautiful and treating you well? That's super important. Of course, you have to be attracted to her, but I always say that it's better. I think the best people in relationships are people that are not looks-wise a 9 or 10. The looks-wise 9 or 10 people have usually not had to work on their personality. They're very superficial. They're very attached to their looks. And in order to be good in a relationship, you have to be attuned to your inner world, and you have to have empathy for other people. I'm sure that there are some very beautiful men and women who can do that, but to my experience, it's kind of rare. It's kind of rare. But now, to be that kind of guy, you have to go to the gym. You have to get a good night's sleep. You've got to, have your testosterone up and your diet good and your relationships good. But you do all that and women will flock to you. And there's a shortage of guys like that in the single world, because guys who are missing in all these areas, if they don't take the tone in their relationship, women get disgusted with them. If you're looking to a woman to be your mommy, to love you in the ways that your mommy never did, you want a mommy, not a wife. Your wife is supposed to be your sex object too. And if you mommified her, or, you're looking to her for approval, she's going to eventually get turned off and not want you anymore. If you don't pay attention to the relationship, those guys are no good. I don't care how hot they are. If they lie to you, that's no good. You know, they don't tell you how they feel and what they want. Those are all the things my ex-husband did wrong, by the way. I'm going to go through this list. Conscious, pay attention to you, me, and the relationship. He didn't really pay good attention to me or the relationship because he was emotionally avoidant and he had mommy issues. Sometimes I felt like, I think he wants a mommy. Set the tone and take the lead. That means challenging the woman when something goes on. Like all those years I was taking the Vicodin, and all the times he was resentful of me and never said anything. He only admitted it once, like a year after we got divorced, that he had all these resentments against me. Why the fuck didn't you say something, asshole? Why the fuck didn't you say something? You should have said something. You know, you have to take the lead. There's something bothering me. Let's have a talk. You know, I really want you to work. Let's have a talk. What's going on with these pills? Let's have a talk. My mom told him in 2001, you've got to talk to Sharzad about those pills. He never did. Okay, I wish he had. I really wanted a relationship that was authentic, and I wanted to work on things, and I wanted to have a good sex life and a good family life. And I really miss that it didn't work out. You know, there's still a part of me that's really sad it didn't work out. You know, I mean, we had a good family life, and it didn't work out because he didn't challenge me on things. He didn't pay attention to the relationship. He didn't take the lead in the relationship. He wasn't transparent. He didn't tell me how he felt or what he wanted. I think he was honest and he didn't lie to me. I think that he lied to himself, and the things that he didn't tell me how he felt and how he wanted is because he wasn't able to be honest with himself. And that is, you know, why I divorced him. I know I don't read the comments anymore, but there are all kinds of guys and they're always like, you damn women, you divorce all these guys. Well, we don't divorce good men. The good men stay married. And there are guys in my comments who have been in relationships. A couple of you guys, I love your comments. Been in a relationship for 10, 15 years, married 25, 30 years. And you're so welcome here. We want to hear. You know, ask your wife or your girlfriends, those of you who've been in a long-term relationship, how do you feel in our relationship? And ask her on these 4 points. If he's conscious, if he takes the lead, if he's transparent, and if he's honest. And see how she responds, see how she really feels in the relationship. Dare to ask. Let us know or tell us how you feel in the relationship or if you show up in these ways. Because when men show up in these ways, women don't leave them unless they're codependent, like my stepmom. My dad's a piece of shit. He treats her so badly. But she's been with him 40 years. She's never going to leave him. And she's beautiful and smart. She's a doctor. Okay. So if you as a man are doing all these things, then high quality women will appear in your life. A lot of women will appear in your life because that's what makes a man so attractive. Is having his shit together. I will say that in our modern world, very few men will qualify. If you go to my channel, the very top video I posted, and it sounds very disparaging and I know maybe disappointing, it says only half of men are viable mates, and I mean that. Because throughout history, a lot of men didn't reproduce because reproduction and women choosing, and we're supposed to be choosy. It is up to us as women to only go out with these type of men. It's up to us to only go out with men on a purpose, on a mission, who are confident, who are authentic, and who are empathetic. It's up to us to choose these men so that only these men can reproduce, and that's what keeps the human race going strong. Half of men are not viable mates because they lack. I know there are women who go for these guys, but I'm not. I'm not interested in alcoholics, con men, players, fuckboys, jobless men, stupid men, unintentional men, fat men, incels, men who hate women, men who are judging or controlling. Like, there's a lot of riffraff out in the world. And my whole thing is, if we can get more people to level up, then more of us who want a relationship can find one. Because those of us who want a relationship and don't have one, It's because our standards are higher than what's most of the world out there. Most of the world is a fucking Walmart, discount store. Most people are operating in a discount store. Maybe I sound privileged or entitled. I think that a lot of the world is operating at a discount store level, and they're half asleep. They're half asleep. They still think that Biden is a good president or Trump is a good president. They're half asleep. They don't understand the system is rigged. They don't understand that the big corporations are running everything. They're asleep. Or they feel powerless, or they have jobs where, they're not educated, they're poor, they have mental issues, like that Maddie Soto's mom has mental issues. Her daughter, she let her daughter be abused by her live-in boyfriend for 4 years, this pedophile asshole. So a lot of people are asleep, and those asleep people find other asleep people to date. And that's where you see a lot of people get into relationships, because asleep people like asleep people, but awake people want awake people. And I'm not saying I'm fully awake, but I'm more awake than a lot of people, and I'd rather be alone than be with some guy who brings my energy down. So the only thing I can really do is do the same thing as he's saying, in myself, like live a happy life, live a happy life, enjoy the life I'm living. That's what I've been really paying more attention to. Like, what do I want to do? And I love being out in nature. I love getting up early. That's super good for health, is getting a good night's sleep, getting up early with the sun. You get infused with that daily energy, being out in nature, being self-expressed, being in my body, taking good care of my body, doing things that make me happy. And, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. And maybe a good guy will find me, because these good guys that are out there, they don't want some woman who's asleep either. I've met so many men, like hot guys. There's some guys, and these are kind of the insecure guys. They want some young hot chick to make them feel good. Like my dad. My dad was 35 when he met his now wife. She was 18. My dad's an ass to her, okay? But there are men, she had no power at all. But there are men who want a powerful woman. They want a woman who's smart, who challenges them, who's got her own interests. There are men who want that. They specifically like to be challenged because they're smart and they're deep. And that's a lot of these guys who like older women. For a lot of guys, it's a fetish. But some of these guys are actually very deep because they like the depth and the experience and the conversation that an experienced woman can offer in the standards. And if they're mature, emotionally and mentally, they can keep that at like a relationship type of a thing. That could be really great for me. Like some guy in his 30s who is not quite ready to marry yet, but he's really mature and interesting and would want to date me. That would be really good. That would be really fun. Or some guy in his 50s, but I never again will be with a guy who traps me, where I feel trapped or owned or controlled. My ex-husband didn't do any of that, but he invalidated my spiritual life and my sexuality. And, I allowed it, of course, but I won't ever get in a relationship like that again, where someone is uncomfortable with all of me. If I'm too much for you, it's good to know. Bye. It's no problem. It's no problem at all. By the way, those of you who want to leave nasty comments, you can. Just be as nasty as you want, because you're just projecting your own hate onto me, and I don't read the comments anymore. But I'm going to leave them up so that people can see, how people are. But really, if you really want to live a conscious life, add something of value. Like, why don't you, if you hate me for being old, before you leave a comment, tell me I'm an old, wrinkled up old prude that nobody will ever want. Get in touch with why you hate older people. What do you hate about older people? Was there a grandparent that was mean to you? Was your mother mean to you? Have older women turned you down when you wanted them? Have you had an experience with older women being nasty to you? Is it because you wish you could fuck me and you can't? You know, what is it really about? Like, what's your trigger? What's your trigger? That would be great to put in there as a high value comment. So again, if a guy is a high quality guy, and he's not looking to a woman to be his good mommy or to fix everything for him, then he's going to attract women, good women. And I think a good woman is going to attract these kind of men. There are not that many of them out there. There are not that many of them out there. I also just want to say real quick that I think it's harder for people nowadays in the economy, but it probably always was. I think there were a few decades where the economy was good. The baby boomers, they had it good. But before that, the Great Depression, the Industrial Revolution, the wars, it's always been hard. Life has always been hard, and only the strong have survived, and the privileged. The strong and the privileged have survived. The Dust Bowl, I read a book about the Dust Bowl. That was hard, except for the rich. That was really fucking hard. You know, the only people who've ever had it good were the baby boomers. They had it easy. They had the easiest life of all. The baby boomers. Don't compare yourself to them. You gotta be inventive. You gotta reinvent your life. And you have to, I think, really get on your purpose. And in order to get on your purpose, you've got to take care of your physical health. You've got to eat well. Eat nourishing foods. Get enough water, get enough sleep, and get up early. And then start thinking about where you want your life to be for. And exercise, strength training, and interval training. You've got to get out of your fucking comfort zone. And you've got to start challenging things in your life that are uncomfortable. That's how people thrive. That's how these men turn out to be high value men. Not because they were born and fed with a silver spoon. Those people become lazy ass trust fund babies with nothing going on. The people have stuff going on. They're driven by their passion and they get out of their comfort zone. I look at my kids. I admire the hell out of my kids. They all get out of their comfort zone every single day. In their personal life, their emotional life, their work life, their exercise life. That's how you thrive. You know? I got way out of my comfort zone today. I pushed myself. You got to push yourself. That's where the magic happens. And that's why half of men are not viable mates, because they don't push themselves. That's the bottom line, because we're spiritual beings in animal form, and animals do not thrive by laying in the pasture eating Twinkies, you know? So that's all I have on this video, and thank you so much for watching.